What's up everyone, hope you're doing well, because in today's video we're going back to Modern Warfare 2. Season 4 Reloaded dropped and they ended up buffing one of my favorite weapons probably of all time, the M13. Now this is the M13B from Modern Warfare 2, but OG M13s from back in the day just honestly had no recoil and just felt fantastic. But they did buff this M13 and they also buffed the Vaznev 9K, which everyone has been asking me to use, and so we're going to use that today with our M13 and hopefully get a win. Before we get into the gameplay, I want to go ahead and give you the loadout so that you guys know what the loadout is while we're using it, and let me know what your favorite buffed weapon in the update is down in the comments. Let's get you the loadout real quick and see if we can't go in and get a win. All right, first up, I'm going to be running the survivor perk. That's kind of what I like to run, that or mountaineer. If I'm running solo quads or something like that, I'll probably run mountaineer. If we run with a squad or if you run with a duo, you definitely want survivor just for the health regen purposes, along with your allies being able to revive you faster. Then I'm running the tracker perk. I love the tracker perk. I just think honestly, it really does help, especially in smoke situations. But I also like quick fix as well. Quick fix is super helpful. Then I'm definitely running tempered. Tempered is just beyond good right now. I think I've just fully gone into just being a tempered guy. Bird's eye, good for big map. Ghost is okay, but I feel like Ghost doesn't work properly. Resolute is really solid too if you're running and gunning pretty quick, but tempered just really helps, especially in the end game. And then of course I'm running smoke since I'm running that tracker perk, and then lethals or throwing knives just to save me ammo. But I do, if you like pushing buildings and stuff, thermites are really good right now. Thermobaric grenades are more annoying than anything, but I think, you know, frags and simtexes are still solid. Impact grenades I just can't get used to yet. I don't know what it is. But for the Vaznev loadout, to start off, we're gonna go with the Shadow Strike Suppressor. This gives you a very solid buff to the bullet velocity, and then gives you a very good damage range buff as well. This is going to give you about a 14% bullet velocity buff, and this will also make you undetectable on your enemy's radar. For the underbarrel here, we're going to go with the Jack/Underbarrel. This will give you a very solid movement speed buff, a sprint speed buff, and a vertical recoil buff as well. We're using this mainly for the movement speed. It's not a ton, but it does help a little bit. Then for the magazine, we're simply going to use the 45 round mag. Then we're going to use the laser here. I tend to use lasers on these older SMGs because I do like putting them in tac stance. If you don't like putting them in tac stance, feel free to put an optic on this, maybe even a barrel, something like the SA response barrel or something like that. Just know that it will slow your SMG down. That's kind of what I'm trying to prevent with a laser here also. But the SL Razorhawk laser light here is what we're going to be using, and that's going to give you an aim walkie steadiness buff, a tac stance spread buff, a sprint to fire speed buff, which is super helpful, and an aim down sight speed buff as well. And then for our last attachment here, we're going to actually use the high grain rounds. This will give you a very good buff to the bullet velocity here and another buff to the damage range, reaching this thing out to about 14 meters, which is really solid for these older SMGs. So that Vaznev aim down sight, just like that. You can definitely use it like that. It doesn't have too much recoil at all. But what I'm going to be doing is putting it in tac stance, which you do simply just by putting any of these older weapons, Modern Warfare 3 and Modern Warfare 2, just tap down on your D-pad, whichever controller you're using, Xbox, PlayStation, doesn't matter. Another kind of cool thing they did in the firing range, they finally added the crosshairs in the firing range, which is super helpful. So that's what it kind of looked like. That's what it'll look like in tac stance, and you can even use it out here. I wouldn't recommend using it out there, but it can hit out there if you wanted to. Now, for the M13, there's a couple things I want to talk about with this M13. The first option we're going to use is still going to be the Shadow Strike Suppressor. If you need a little bit more recoil control, use the Quartermaster Suppressor, completely up to you, but I'm using Shadow Strike Suppressor. I'm trying to get more bullet velocity and damage range on this AR. That's exactly what this is going to do, is give you a bullet velocity buff, about 798 after you attach this one attachment, and then a damage range buff out to 38 meters for now, until we add these other attachments. So we're going to stick with the Shadow Strike Suppressor here. Then one thing I tried to do, instead of putting a barrel on here, I usually use the Bruin Echelon barrel. I wanted to just see what the difference was between putting a barrel on here or putting the high grain rounds on here specifically, right? You can get a little bit more bullet velocity, but you're just not going to get any damage range if you're using like something like a high velocity. High grain rounds, I would definitely go barrel over high grain rounds here, and here's why. So the high grain rounds, what this does, is going to give you a bullet lasting damage range buff. No cons here, which is cool. We're not going to use these high grain rounds. I find it interesting. It just doesn't give you any kind of recoil or stabilization buff, but if you put on the Bruin Echelon barrel, what that will do is give you a bullet velocity and range buff this up to about 46.1 meters, give you a bullet velocity buff that's a little bit better than high grain rounds. But what it also does is give you a recoil gun kick, horizontal gun kick, and vertical recoil control buff as well. And it also increases the firing aim stability, which is super helpful for these older weapons, along with giving you a hip fire accuracy buff, but we're never really going to use it like that. For the magazine, simply using the 60 round mag, nothing fancy there. For the optic here, I think we're just going to stick with our Jag glassless optic, just use it that way. And then we're going to use an underbarrel here. For that underbarrel, we're going to be using the XRK Bowbreaker grip. This will give you a recoil control buff, period. And then it will also increase your firing aim stability, along with giving you an aiming idle sway buff as well. Go ahead and show you guys the recoil pattern on this as well. So recoil pattern is up and to the left, which is a lot different than what we're used to. We're used to seeing up and to the right, so we're dragging down and to the left. This time what you want to do is drag down and to the right to really control that recoil. So it's going to go up and to the left, so what you want to do is drag down and to the right, try to maintain as much of that recoil as possible, and you should have no problem even out here at 50 meters. It's actually nuts. All right, M13 resurgence quads. Let's see how this actually does. Just FYI, if you ever want to know if somebody's in resurgence quads or if they're in resurgence casuals, this is how you tell. I can't even get down here in time. We're probably just gonna start out here at the ship, I think. Almost there. The cache seems to be fixed. That's nice. Whoa, whoa, whoa. Okay, not terrible. Kill number 1. Olivia's really, really nice, though. I will say that. That's not bad. Say. Vaznev's okay. I don't think it's a meta by any means. Ooh. Yeah. Not bad. Take it. Love that. That's easy. Yep. Yeah, this thing's just fine. I don't know that it's a good long range option. But for mid range, it's not bad at all. It's right there. That's where it's just not good enough. I had a clearer shot on him. Ooh, good snipe, good snipe. What? That tower? No, it was up top. Dang. Kill. I got like 1. How many bullets I have left? 25. Oh, I love that. Let's go. Yeah, this M13 is just fine. I absolutely love it. Yeah, Felt like that way I was about to be a sweat. This thing is great. There. Oh, I thought I was about to lose that. All right. Yeah. Yeah, this thing feels phenomenal. Way early here. They're gonna try to buy their guys back. No doubt about it. Come on, come on. Yeah. That's not even. What we're gonna do. That's how it's done. Love that. Let's go. Yeah, I like the M13 a lot. Nev didn't feel bad there either.